Hello everyone, this is Amit Lathigra. In this video, I am going to demonstrate you how can we find a factorial of a given number and also a Python program to find a factorial of entered number. So in this program, I want to find factorial. What a factorial is. Let's consider an example that the user is entering 4 as an input. So I need to find a 4 factorial. 4 factorial meaning I need to multiply number starts with entered number, that is 4, with all subsequent numbers after decreasing 1 from it till I reach to 1. So 4 factorial meaning 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. 4 into 3, 12. 12 into 2, 24. 24 into 1, 24. So here in output, I require value is 120, which is a factorial of 4. So how can we find it? In my previous video, I discussed about how can we find sum of first n numbers. So here we took an input from the user and we have added all numbers starting with 1 till we reach to the number. And in this program of finding a factorial, we are starting with the number, we are reaching up to 1 and we are multiplying all together. So here if you can check, something is common to get the output, and that is a multiplication. So what exactly we require here is a loop. Within loop we require a multiplication. So here input is entered by user, that is 1. We need to start with this input, that is n, and we need to find a multiplication with respective numbers after decreasing 1 from the input. So how can we do this? So input is n. We are considering n as an input. User is entering 4. So 4 into 3, that is 12. Then 12 into 2, that is 24. 24 into 1, that is 24. If we further decreasing value of 1 by 1, so it becomes 0. And if you multiply any number with 0, final result will be 0. We need to stop here once we reach that 1. We need to start with entered number. So let's say 4. And if you multiply any number with 1, it remains unchanged. The reason for adding 1 to entered number is to have a common pattern here. If you can check, we are starting with 4, then 3, then 2, then 1. So this is our iteration basically within the loop. We are iterating backward now, starting with entered number till we reach to 1. And this 1, 4, 12, 24 is nothing but result of previous multiplication comes as an input for the next multiplication. So this is our multiplication variable basically, which we are modifying like we did in sum variable in previous example. So this is as simple as this. Let's understand it in more deeper way. Let's say one variable is multiple. One variable that is we can consider as it is input. Now let's have its block multiplication and number. So let's consider initial value of multiplication as 1, because if we multiply any number with 1, result remains unchanged like we did it in sum. If we are adding 0 to sum, value remains unchanged. And value of number is as entered by the user, so I am considering it as a 4. So first step, Value of multiplication, how it looks like. Multiplication is equal to multiplication into number. So now here value of multiplication is 1, number is 4. 1 into 4, we are replacing value of multiplication with this result. So new value of multiplication is 4. This is our iteration number 1. Even we can have one more iteration value, a variable here. We can consider value of n to that variable, that is number. That is also possible, but let's modify this number itself. Then what we require is number minus minus, because here we are going backward. So number, we need to replace its value by 1. So 4 minus 1, so next value is 3. Now here n is 3, multiplication is 4, 4 into 3, the result is 12. We are replacing it with 12, second step. Similar way, n minus 1, next value of number is 2. Value of multiplication is 12, 12 into 2. Here it is 24. We are replacing value of multiplication to 24, step number 3. Again n minus 1, so 2 minus 1, it is 1 now. Value of multiplication is 24. 24 into 1, result is 24. We are replacing 24 with 24. And this is what our step number 4. Again n minus 1, 0 means we need to stop. So in this way we can find factorial of a given number. Even we can have iteration variables. So during my Python program, I can check both the options. Will decrease the value of n by 1. We'll check what will be the output, and also we'll have iteration variable. So we'll do it in both the ways, using while loop, using for loop. So both versions I will demonstrate in Python program. Let's do its flowchart first. We need to start a flowchart. We need to take an input from the user. So let's say input n. We need to initialize our multiplication variable with 1 to find a multiplication. Then our condition, we are doing it if we are greater than or equivalent to 1, till number is greater than or equivalent to 1. If it is false, we reach to the end. So we need to display value of multiplication as factorial. Or even I can use fact as a variable name. Both are valid. So this is the case. And next is stop here. After displaying value of multiplication, I need to stop. And what if it is true? If it is true, we need to calculate multiplication as multiplication multiplied by n. This is what I explained here. Multiplication is equal to multiplication multiplied by n. And we need to reduce value of n by 1. So here it is n is equal to n minus 1. And then we need to go to the beginning of the loop. So this is a very basic flowchart. Let's check it practically. Input n, user is entering here 3 during output. So this is my n. Multiplication is 1. So here value of multiplication is 1. N is greater than or equivalent to 1. So 3 is greater than or equivalent to 1. It is true. It goes inside. Multiplication is 1 at this point of time. Value of n is 3. 3 into 1. Multiplication is 3. Value of n we are decreasing by 1. So n becomes 2 now. N is 2. We are going into the loop here. 2 is greater than or equivalent to 1. It is true. Value of n is 2. Multiplication in the previous step, it's already 3. So 3 into 2, multiplication becomes 6 now. N minus 1. Value of n is 1 now. Going to the beginning of the loop, 1 is greater than or equivalent to 1. Still it is true because 1 and 1 both are same. True. Value of n is 1. Value of multiplication is 6. Value of multiplication is 6 into 1, that is 6. Here n becomes 0. Multiplication is still 6. 0 greater than or equivalent to 1. Now it is false as it is less than 1. Display multiplication, so here it gives as an output 6. Reason for going up to 1 is, as I explained, 4 factorial, we need to start with number till we reach to 1. 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So this is a flowchart. Now let's check a Python program. We require an input from the user. So let's say input from the user. Enter a number to find its factorial. So this is my n, and let's have a multiplication variable or a factorial variable. It's up to us. So let's have multiplication. Let's initialize it with 1. And let's have while loop at this point of time. So number is greater than or equivalent to 1 as per flowchart. We took an input. Multiplication, we initialized it with 1. And if n is greater than or equivalent to 1, then I want to do a multiplication. So multiplication is equal to multiplication multiplied by n as per the flowchart. This is same as multiplication as shorthand multiplication operator and assignment. So both are same. But let's write it in this way. Multiplication is equal to multiplication into n. And let's increase value of n by 1. Let's decrease value of n by 1. And that's it. This is my while loop. Once I come out of loop, I need to display value of multiplication. So factorial is and result is in multiplication variable. Let's check it practically, its output. Enter a number to find its factorial. Let me enter 4. So 4 into 3 into 2 into 1 is expected 24. Let's enter 3. Factorial is 6. Let's enter 5. Factorial is 120. Let's enter 100. And this is what its value, because 100 into 99 into 98. Let's enter 10. This is what its value. Now let's use a for loop instead of while in the same program. So let's put comment here. This statements I am making inside a comment, this while loop. And let's try to have for loop here. So for, now here I can have iteration. So let me consider number as iteration in range. I want to start it with 4. If entered value is 4, so that is n, till I reach to 0. And because 0 is not inclusive here, it is going to stop at 1. And I want to decrease value of number by 1. and here it's colon. So now here number starts with n. So if n is 4, number starts with 4 minus 1. So next time 3, 2, 1 and 0. So now here if I use n, I'm not changing value of n here inside my for loop. But iteration I'm doing through number variable. So this multiplication is number. And here we can have a liberty to use messages factorial of, and let me enter value of n because I'm not changing it anymore. So factorial of, if n is 4, factorial of 4 is then value of multiplication. So this I did the same thing using for loop. Let's clear the screen and let's check an output. Enter a number to find its factorial. 4. So factorial of 4 is 24. 3 it is 6. 5 it is 120. 1 it is 1. 10 and this is what output. So this is a simple Python program. I used for and while both in this program one after another to find a factorial of given number. And this is a flowchart. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching this video. Have a good time ahead.